Welcome back to another Boomer Bust editorial. I'm your host Terry, and today talking about the 2019 NBA free agency. It's almost upon us. Been a whole lot of speculation going on. It's honestly for me, it's becoming a little overwhelming, but so I'm ready for it to kind of be over with. But since everybody's speculating, I figure why not speculate myself and just kind of give my picks to where the top free agents are going to end up. And, I don't really care one way or the other. My Chicago Bulls aren't going to be competing for nothing anytime soon. So, yeah, it's just kind of more of a fun thing to do. But, yeah, let's talk about some of the top free agents. I think some of the pieces are falling. Of course, I'm doing this hours before it starts, so it's not like this is some wild predictions. I think number one, you got Kyrie Irving. And here's the interesting thing. I'm going to go with the Nets. Now, from everything we hear, is that the Nets, if they don't feel like they can get a second superstar to come with him, then they won't pursue. And, I wouldn't say tank, but they wouldn't, try to spend a lot of money. I don't know if that's true. I just think that still at the end of the day, there's not just tank or full super team mode. I don't think that's the only two options. And you can ask the Raptors. But I don't think that's the only two options. And I think that teams at the end of the day is a business. And when you have a superstar that wants to be the face of your team, you don't say no without a good reason. And so Kyrie Irving being healthy, wanting to play not publicly, but almost publicly. They let it leak to everybody. He wants to be in Brooklyn. He wants to, or I believe he signed with Rock Nation. Like, I think that at the end of the day, whether he gets Kevin Durant to come or not, that the Nets are going to sign Kyrie Irving. I don't think Kyrie has any desire to play with these other guys in their city. I think I know the reason he left Cleveland was all about having his own thing. So it wouldn't make sense for him to run back to LeBron in LA or to run to New York with Kevin Durant or anything else. I think he's 100% going to the Nets. Then you got Kemba Walker, the other point guard. The reports are that he's going to replace Kyrie Irving in Boston. I do believe in that. I'm going to go with Boston as well. Not just because of reports, just because you look at everything we see. The man hasn't been paid in the big money like everybody else. The Hornets aren't going to do that. And if they backed up the Brinks truck, he would have went back. We know he's a loyal dude. He's a good dude. People love him in that city. But Michael Jordan is tight-pocketed. So since he's not getting the money there, he's going to take the money somewhere. And I don't believe that any other team is really excited to pursue Kemba Walker. So you talk about the Lakers looking for a third piece. You talk about the Clippers maybe trying to get another piece to go with Kawhi Leonard. You talk about the Knicks and all these other people. I don't think anybody's super enthusiastic about Kemba. And so the Celtics are losing a big-time point guard. And it's an easy fit. They ended up not blowing the team up, trying to get AD. So they're going to try to pull back together with their young core and replace a point guard for a point guard. And it makes sense to me. And it's a good franchise. They respect their point guards. They respect them. And I think Kemba's actually going to be well-liked in Boston. And I think he'll fit better because he doesn't have the attitude that Kyrie has. All right, next is Klay Thompson. And wow, I just love fantasizing scenarios about where Klay Thompson could fit because he's a rare dude. I mean, you got a lot of these ball stoppers, a lot of these guys that just ISO the ball and, volume shooters, all that good stuff. But you don't have a lot of guys that can fill up the bucket with efficiency, off the catch, and as a spot-up shooter. Like, if all you asked Klay to do was be Ray Allen with the Heat, he would be amazing at that. But you know, Clay could do a lot more than that. He could defend. He could take the ball to the bucket if need be, and he can put up big points. So just thinking about pairing him with other people would be nice. But I'm going Golden State Warriors, and I feel pretty strong about that. The ACL, you know what, even if he didn't get hurt, I would sit here and say that he's going to stay with the Warriors because he's a loyal dude. He loves those guys. He's been through a lot with them. Now, the one thing that I've been saying, the one person that I was like, this makes the most sense. Like Kawhi leaving, KD leaving, Kyrie, all this stuff, AD leaving. The one person I'm like, it makes sense is Klay Thompson. He gets an all-NBA snub, and you know it's only solely because he's on the Warriors. And it's just like he doesn't have to deal with the same pressure that other players have to because he's got a team that requires a lot of attention. He gets easier shots. And you know he was mad about not making All-NBA. You can't cover that up. But if you watch, I forgot who he was interviewing with. It was right before one of the games. And I think it was Rachel Nichols. But they were talking about the snub. You know, he was being political. But then she had mentioned, she was like, you know, do you feel like because you're on the Warriors, people don't respect what you do as much because you got a lot of talent and these other players don't have talent around them? And he just paused. Like you could tell in that moment that the light bulb went off. And I really feel like he in his heart is like, man, if I want the type of respect I believe, because Clay is not, I mean, he's happy making these championships, and he's not KD or Kawhi Leonard or Kyrie where he's like, you know, I gotta get by any means get out of here and go do it by myself. But he does want to be the greatest. He has huge goals. He wants to have all the accolades. He wants to be great. And so I feel like in the back of his head there is that, man, you know what? I kind of see the point. If I go out there and get with a team and kind of show people I'm a number one, you know, things will be different. But I still have to believe his loyalty and the things he went through with Golden State, he stays there. And so even if he didn't get injured. So anyway, that was a long explanation to say stay with the Golden State Warriors. All right, so who else is on this list? Let's go ahead and talk about them. Kawhi Leonard, we got the big dogs. Kawhi Leonard, this is a tough one. I mean, Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant are the big ones. Those are the big dominoes in terms of talent and in terms of they have the most options. So we've heard Durant wants to go to New York, wants to go to Gotham. I'm not sure why, but that's what he wanted to do, to the Knicks. Then we heard Kyrie said, I'm going to Brooklyn. I want to get KD to go with me. Now we're hearing Kawhi Leonard and KD are talking. Here's my thing. If you're leaving the Warriors to say, oh man, I won championships with them, people said it was too easy, all of this stuff, or I'm leaving because I won championships with them, but this is Steph's house. You know, I'm not the face of this franchise like I was in Oklahoma City. You know, I want the best of both worlds. Well, I'm the face and I'm winning. Then why, in any scenario, would you go to anywhere except the New York Knicks? Now, he didn't come out. No one publicly says this stuff except AD, kind of. And Kawhi did it. Because this is the new trend. But he still hasn't came out and said Knicks is what he wants. But that's what we've been hearing. And if you look at it, everybody else's destination is claimed. So Clippers, unless Kawhi doesn't go there, Clippers is Kawhi's spot. That's the one. Boston, Kemba, the Nets has been called out by Kyrie Irving. You know, the Rockets got James Harden, all this stuff. So I'm not saying there's no other team you could go. You come to Chicago, but there's other teams you go to, but the ones that are in play, the Knicks is the only one that he can claim. And it's not like it's chump change. That's a huge team to claim. And so that I understand. But the other side is he wants the super team with people. And so it's not the, oh man, I'm gonna go get it on my own type stuff like Kyrie was willing to do, which is another reason I think he'll do the Nets, because he was willing to go to Boston and stay in Boston, even though they got Gordon Hayward, but still he was willing to do it even if they didn't have big talent. I don't know if Kevin Durant's that same way. The Achilles heel is a big issue. If he did not get hurt 100% on the Knicks, and it's like, Kyrie, you come if you want. If not, okay. And then maybe the AD trade goes different. I don't know. But since he's hurt, he won't be playing next year. I think that changes things. He declined his player option, so that tells me he's not going back to the Warriors. I highly doubt he goes back for a less deal. It'd be nice to just sit there and get paid and be part of the Warriors, but I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to build his roots at whatever team he's going to. Now, which team that is, it's got to be the Knicks. I don't see where else he can go. Now, I would personally like to see him go to the Wizards. I like the whole go home thing, and he mentioned it once back in the day, but that doesn't seem like the trend anymore. But that'd be cool to see. But I think it's going to be the Knicks when it's all said and done. But I honestly think wherever he goes is going to be a short-term contract, because I don't think he wants to be locked up right now, and I don't think any team wants to lock him up with the uncertainty of his injury. But if he does get a max, 5-year contract, I'd be shocked. Kawhi Leonard. Well, let me do Jimmy Buckets first. So Jimmy Buckets, he can go a number of places. I don't know that many people want Jimmy Butler. I mean, I know they want him, but it's just like he's a lot to deal with. He's a big personality. It's really tough for me because Jimmy, he's going to command money, but he's not a number one. And that's what I think is going to end up happening, because there's a lot of people like, oh, he could fit in with this super team. And he might be ring chasing. He might be tired of losing. But I just don't see him wanting to take a back seat. That was the whole reason he moved everywhere he moved. It was like he doesn't want to take a back seat, and he wants to win. So the winning side might say, let's think about the Lakers or whatnot. But then the other side is like, I don't want to play second fiddle. So we're hearing Rockets. We're hearing the Heat. The Heat is interesting. Not sure what that's about, but that's what he's talking about. Rockets don't have the money unless they do a sign and trade. I don't see the Sixers wanting to do that unless maybe they get Capella. At the end of it, I think he does end up with the Rockets, because the Rockets are all about big names, about splash. I don't think it fits. I don't think it makes sense. But I do think the Rockets are savvy enough in the front office to get it done if that's what they want to get done. Consequently, I think CP3 doesn't stay on the roster throughout the whole season. And so we'll see kind of what they maneuver with CP3. But I do think Jimmy's going to end up with James Harden, and it's going to be a mess. Unless Jimmy's like, you know what, all this carrying the load stuff is for the birds. I'm going to go lock up the best player on their team and put all my energy there. And I'll do a little bit when James needs a break on offense. If that's what he's going to do, which I don't believe, okay. But still, I don't like the matchup with the Rockets. But I think that's where he might end up. If he goes to the Heat, fine, I guess, okay. But I just think he's in ring chase mode. He knows he's not getting younger. He's tried it with 3 different teams, and he needs some veterans that got some work ethic. So that's what I think he's looking at. Kawhi Leonard. Oh man, I don't know. Actually, my gut feeling, my guess is that Kawhi Leonard. So we're hearing right now that the Lakers are in contention since they got AD. This goes so counter to what we know about Kawhi Leonard that it makes me just wonder about this report. I think he ultimately goes back to Toronto on a 1+1 year deal. Um, Now, why would you do that? I think because Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant, no matter where they end up, aren't playing next year. And so you do have the benefit of trying to go after that championship again. And then if you go to the Clippers, I mean, they could do things and move it around. But again, you got AD in the West with LeBron. The Lakers aren't going to be the pushover they were. The Warriors aren't going to be the threat that they were. And so I just feel like you stay in the East right now, you make a run. Do I see him going to the Knicks? Do I see him teaming up with other people? No, but apparently they're saying he's talking to KD about teaming up. He's talking about going to the Lakers. And the Clippers and the Raptors are the serious contention. I would like to see him go play with Kyrie. I don't know how that would work out, but that'd be cool. But at the end of the day, I think he stays with Toronto on a short year deal. Those are my guesses. So anyway, I guess you could throw Boogie in there. Who knows? Boogie's still not healthy 100%. I don't think he's going to stay with Golden State. He should, but I don't think he's going to stay with Golden State. I'm praying that the Lakers strike out and Boogie ends up on their roster. That would be absolutely amazing, but that's just me. So anyway, go to the comment section. Let me know before we get into free agency where you think everybody's going to end up. Share it around, get the conversation started. Thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you for listening.